Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my October reading wrap-up. There's not much to talk about, to be honest, because I didn't do that much reading. So I finished a Lovers Discourse by Xiaolu Guo. I enjoyed it. I didn't perhaps enjoy it as much as the first book I read of hers, which was a concise Chinese-English language dictionary for lovers. But this was still good. It's very much on the same kind of riff of a Chinese woman coming to England and falling in love and exploring English culture and sort of growing and getting to know herself. But yeah, like, it was enjoyable. It's a quick read as well, even though the size, because there's just bite-sized chapters, and it's just a bit soft and sweet, and the writing is like beautiful but simple, and it's also like witty and clever. So yeah, definitely recommend Xiaolu Guo if you've never picked her up before. Ooh. I'm matching. I always love that when that happens, when you match a book. Yeah. And then the other book I finished in October, so I only really finished two. Oh no, I did finish an audiobook, but first we'll talk about this one because I've got it in the reel. This is The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 1 by Negabi. I saw this in the library and it looked cute because it's like this weird little crotchety monster and he looks after like a little girl, and it just, yeah. It's just sweet, and it's like cozy. It's cozy fantasy, but with a little bit of like gothicness mixed in with it. Like not really gothic, but just kind of like a darkness. In this fantasy land, there's two divisions. So there's like the inside and then the outside, and then this girl gets lost in the outside because she's abandoned by her aunt, who they were running away because of like these people are deemed infected, and so then the weird little monster thing looks after this little girl and tries to comfort her without touching her because he's worried that he will infect her and she'll turn into a monster like him. It's very cute and so quick to read. Like I finished it in one sitting, which sometimes you need something light and fluffy to get through. And then the other book that I finished it was an audiobook, My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. It was alright. Like, it didn't get as effed up as I hoped it would be, but I think that's a pattern with me where I just want everyone to go an extra mile, and no, it's not going to happen. Maybe I should see a therapist. I think I gave it like 2 stars because I was just like, yeah. And it's kind of like fits into the subgenre of like media where growing up and being a teenage girl is like horror vibes. Like there's quite a few movies that deal with it. One that comes to mind is like Raw, like the weird cannibal French movie. Becoming a woman is a nightmare. And the nightmare doesn't stop, baby. It doesn't fucking stop. Yeah, so that's what I've got to say. I am currently reading several books because I am that way inclined. I'm not going to talk about them because I make that mistake where I start talking about them and then once I've finished the book, when it comes to the next wrap-up, I have nothing to say. So I'm currently reading Consumed by David Cronenberg. Basically, if you like Cronenberg's movies, you'll like this. It feels like Crash, but different. And also very much feeds into some of the ideas he explored in his most recent movie, Crimes of the Future, like to do with surgery and stuff like that. So when I started reading it, I was like, oh, hello, David, you're like kind of hashing out your ideas for your next movie, because I think this was published in like 2015 or something. Yeah, I just love David Cronenberg. He's just a freak, really. Like, he's just got a weird mind. When was it? Oh, 2014, yeah. So it feels like a precursor to some of the ideas that were floating around for Crimes of the Future. Yeah, read this if you're a bit freaky. Minor Detail by Adani Shibli. This is floating around on TikTok at the moment. It was part of a readathon, Reading is Resistance. I didn't read it in time. I'm reading it currently. And it's just important to educate yourself. I don't really read non-fiction, so the way I read about things going on in the world, or as part of my reading around the world, this is the Palestinian entry. It's important to read narratives like this to kind of educate yourself, and when you think about it, sometimes, sorry about the lighting, this was probably the only day I could record this, and it's just all over the place. Sometimes fiction gives you more of a real glimpse than non-fiction does. into like the world at a time and place, and the thoughts and feelings, the depth of sorrow and things like that. And this isn't for the faint of heart, so like read the blurb before you delve into it if you're going to find it triggering. And then I'm also reading Jane Birkin's Monkey Diaries from 1957 to 1982. I love Jane Birkin. I think she's sensational and one of the coolest actresses, models, singers of the French New Wave. I love her style, just the way she carries herself, or did carry herself, because she is now passed. I think it was earlier this year actually. But yeah, I saw this in my library and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know Jane wrote a book. Don't know why I'm referring to everyone by their first names as if I know them. Hi Jane. But yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, like that kind of covers the years with Serge Gainsbourg, becoming an up and coming actress, singer, becoming a mother and things like that. So it's like, it sounds like it would be quite a fascinating read. I love Jane. Like sometimes I wish I looked like her, but I don't, because she's just stunning. Like, and her hair, her fringe always looks magnificent. Mine never does, and I wish I could just channel my inner Jane Birkin, but unfortunately it's not there. I'm not as glamorous or as cool and effortless as she is. Although, is she really effortless? People give the air that they're just like cool naturally, but like how hard did they have to try? You'll never know. I started reading The Day of the Triffids by someone, because I don't know who it's by. I didn't look. I just saw it and I was like, oh, okay, I've never read this. Is it like alien invasion? But I don't think it is, but I kind of think it is. I swear in the book it said, oh, they come from Russia. Like the Triffids are coming from Russia. So like, was it written during the Cold War? Because it just feels very like Red Scare. Oh, John Wyndham. Originally published 1951, of course. Of course. So the nasty thing comes from Russia. Anyway, thank you for listening to this a bit fragmented wrap up. Maybe I'll do a better one next month, but who knows. Like, I'm starting to get a bit tired of doing these wrap ups. Like, I don't know, are they boring? I feel like they're a bit boring and like not particularly entertaining. But is that just me critiquing myself and kind of trying to find fault where perhaps there isn't any? But I don't know, I just feel they're a bit uninspiring, like just a bit monotonous, like here is what I've read, this is what I thought. And like not many people watch it. Like obviously people do watch it, but it's not like drawing in crowds. But then do I need to draw in the crowds? Like I'm going through something clearly. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.